Welcome back to the channel. Today what I want to be talking about is yet another tragic death from a Brazilian YouTube influencer, but I think she's more or less known on Instagram. Larissa Borges died at the age of 33 from a double heart attack. Now, this right here is coming from page 6. From what they say, the police themselves in Gramadia, where she was pretty much visiting at the time she had her first heart attack, and then like a week later she had her second heart attack, and that right there is what actually killed her. Now, the investigation is ongoing and it's still in its infancy stages, but from what page 6 says, it's believed that alcohol and or drugs were part of what caused her to have her first heart attack. Now, the thing about that is that we all know that these fitness influencers, they use a lot of different drugs to control body fat and also to boost energy and stuff like that. But in this particular case, until we find out more, we're not talking about PEDs. We're just talking about, drugs in general that the everyday population uses to so-called enjoy themselves. With this particular case, it's like I told you all before. One drug is always a gateway to the next drug. A lot of people hate drug dealers and stuff like that. Those are the people that we, as drug users, if that's what we are, get our drugs from. And it's not the drug dealer that causes individuals to use drugs. It's normally somebody your friends and buddies you hang out with. They normally are the ones who introduce you to drugs, and they are the ones who normally helps you become addicted to whatever it is. Now, we're talking about, like I said before, gateway drugs. For instance, maybe she started off drinking. That right there lowers your inhibitions to other drugs. Drinking was 9 times out of 10 given to her by somebody she knew, friends or whatever. And that right there is like a basis when we're talking about gateway drugs. It's like a beginning. So she started off with that maybe. And she eventually graduated to other drugs that she added on to the drinking. But this time she just happened to use a little bit more than she should have, and it ended up possibly causing her to have a heart attack. This is what's theorized right now because an autopsy hasn't been done. But we're just talking about gateway drugs and how you end up using other drugs. And it's like I told you before, when it comes down to bodybuilders, using roids, it don't just stop there. They normally use other drugs to help that drug. So when you're talking about bodybuilding, it's always multiple drugs that causes you to have that physique that you would want. But again, getting off track a little bit like I normally do, but gateway drugs are drugs that lowers your inhibition to other drugs. In other words, something that somebody would introduce to you, you normally would say no to being sober. Now, once you drink alcohol, it lowers your I'm not going to say lowers your thought process, which in a way maybe it does lower your thought process, but it lowers your better judgments. Is about the best way I can put it. And you might go ahead on and try that new drug that normally friends would offer to you. And that right there is what normally causes you to spiral. And it's not the drug dealer. The drug dealer is just a supplier. It's normally your friends that causes your downfall, your so-called friends, because real friends would never introduce you to drugs in the first place. That's just without a doubt. So if you have anybody that's supposedly a friend of yours that's telling you, if you want to have fun, try this. If you want to have fun, try that. Those people are not your friends, and those people are inevitably going to allow you to fail. Like this person right here has failed. And, you know, a lot of us look up to a lot of these influencers and stuff like that, but you really never know what's going on behind the scene with these people and their decisions that they're making in their lives. You know, you looking at her, most guys would look at her, very attractive person, and that right there is enough to have most people follow you, because people follow what they think is the hierarchy of human anatomy, human bodies. People would just follow that, you know, and those that are into any kind of fitness, is like I told you before, most people that's into bodybuilding normally are in it because of some type of emotional duress. They normally get into that because they don't feel good about themselves. And that's what normally causes them to get into the weightlifting thing. And you can pretty much tell the ones that are like that because of the way they are. You know, it's just a difference. And you can tell if you just watch the person enough. Anyway, that's what I wanted to talk to y'all about. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. And again, I'll be talking to you later.